Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2, and today I'm going to be giving you part 9 of What If Naruto got a new training trip partner that will change everything. Remember to get this one to 100 like as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Became the God of Lightning over on Anime King, and enjoy that guys. And also, I posted a brand new episode over on Anime King 3 of What If Naruto had the Ren Tentagon, so go ahead and enjoy it as well. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. And yeah, without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last spot we left off, both Itachi and Kakashi were talking, as Kakashi was one of the few people that know the truth about Itachi and what he did for the village and what he did to his clan and why. As Kakashi did not see Itachi as an enemy, but Itachi has already signed his fate, as he's still being haunted by all that he's done in his past, and he will go out as the enemy if that makes his brother feel better, as he had to make sure he ensured that his brother was always on the right path. If killing him will bring peace to Sasuke to get revenge, that is exactly what he wanted. Kakashi tried to make him understand that he did this for the sake of the village, but still, Itachi still murdered his family. He murdered his clan, and there was only one way left out of that, as it was the only path that he could take now. Kakashi understood after listening to Itachi. Meanwhile, as both Naruto and Jiraiya were at Mount Miyamoku, the both of them got into a fight, and Jiraiya went and brought up Tayuya, and when she had jumped in the way to save Naruto from Yagra, as Naruto lost it as he attacked Jiraiya. Jiraiya was going easy on him at first, as Naruto attacks started to become vicious, as Naruto started to tap into the Kyuubi's power, and like the fox said, the more he used the power, the more he lost his mind, as Naruto started to go insane as he attacked Jiraiya with a new, ferocious attack. Jiraiya started to get serious as Naruto threw up a seal, as he had learned a lot from his grandmother. Jiraiya felt his bones quiver. A seal that was deafening shook him. He was unable to think straight as Naruto jumped and pounced on him like a wild animal. Naruto beat the absolute crap out of him until he was out unconscious. As Naruto made his way off, as he ended up falling into the oil. Dropping into the oil, Naruto felt everything around him, as his body tapped into nature itself. He had to pull himself out of it as he met Fukazaku back at the sand as Tayuya was talking to Aburo, as the both of them were talking about her relationship with Naruto, as she already made up her mind about him. As Aburo was happy, the girl had no doubts. Tayuya then made her way off as she met up with Temari. They haven't really spoken since the last time they fought each other, and she almost died, but there was nothing else she could do here better, so the both of them started to talk, and Tayuya ended up getting information out of Temari that she liked the guy at a, restaurant, so the both of them went there. As Tayuya saw the guy, he was, decent, but not her type, but she was gonna help Temari. After all, there was nothing better to do. Meanwhile, Jiraiya ended up finding back Naruto, as he apologized for lying to Naruto, as Naruto told him that he wants to know everything. Jiraiya sat down as he sighed, as Naruto told him every single thing, no lies. Jiraiya relented as he decided to tell Naruto everything. So yeah guys, so it's basically last we left off. You guys can switch across and play this and check it out for yourself. So this is begin this new episode. Tell me everything, said Naruto. Well alright, Jiraiya said. As you know, your status as a Jinchuriki makes you a very incredibly powerful shinobi, and essentially mandates that we do everything in our power to keep you loyal to us. If that meant holding a proverbial carrot in front of your face, then we do. Do you really think that it was an accident that you graduated the way you did? It wasn't. My sensei already knew that Mizuki was a traitor, and he took a minor genjutsu in his head to put the idea there. Your other teacher, Aruka, was kept in the darkness for obvious reasons. His interference might have caused his death, if not for your loyalty to him. That much was true, as Naruto remembered when Aruka saved his life by jumping in the path to take that massive shuriken. Even after you were found guilty of all those murders, when the civilians had attacked you, what happened? Nothing. Because even a crazy Jinjulke can be compliant. The most important thing is, we couldn't allow you to die. My sensei was a kind man, but he was also ruthless and political. Excluding the 3 years that Minato took over, Sir Toby Hiruzen served as Hokage for almost 60 years. That takes someone who would do anything to make sure the village is in safe hands. Tsunade can be that way too when she wants. Why do you think that Tayuya is with us on this trip? Why do you think that Tsunade chose you to be her guardian in Konoha? It is because she wanted one of Orochimaru's agents to make a strong loyalty to Konoha. And if you develop a strong bond with her, then your own loyalty to the village would be reinforced. Your grandmother and those children complicated things, but Tsunade isn't heartless. She would never order their deaths to make sure that Konoha is the only family that you have and need. If all goes well, then we will be able to integrate them into our own forces. After all, seeing what those kids could do. Jiraiya trailed off, as Naruto was upset about the manipulation, but he understood the reasons. A loose cannon will have to be tied down or eliminated. The upper heads of Konoha just wanted to make sure everything is certain, hence why they never go after the missing names like Orochimaru or Itachi, and try to convince them to come back. That would just involve more death for them. Does Tsunade Bachan really think I might turn on her? Because when you say loyal to Konoha, it sounds like you really mean loyal to Tsunade. Alright, crash course with Konoha. Political Science 101. Tsunade Haime is relatively unpopular with the village. Up on the international stage, she is seen as combattable, a veteran of 2 wars, greatly viewed as the most powerful kunoichi in the world. However, she was only in the village once in the last 20-something years. We were 37 when the Kyuubi attack happened. She is 52 now. She was... Please, get back on track, said Naruto. Oh, alright. Anyway, she took an extended leave of absence. Left again after the Kyuubi attack. The next time she came back was when you practically dragged her by the collar back. While the merchants and the civilians don't really give a crap who's in charge. As long as their shops and your things are kept well, there's a decent political side of the shinobis who aren't too fond of her. Danzo is our most outspoken opponent when it comes towards that, but you would never openly challenge her to anything. There was a lot of ninjas that liked the way my sensei and Minato ran things, and Tsunade doesn't do a very capable work by drinking her life away, signing papers down, and brash until the chips are down. Unless she absolutely can't budge, it's relatively easy to make her accept requests. You and I have that with ease. After all, he always get a slap on the wrist and get off easy with any impoliteness or anything that he does bad. Well, Tsunade was also part Uzumaki from her grandmother's side, but still, the others didn't address her the way Naruto did or spoke to her the way Naruto did either. But he wanted to know who in particular is so set against her. Well, for starters, there's a Sarutobi clan head, Asuma. He's the one who taught this new generation of Yamanaka, Nara, and Akamichi trio. His fiancée, Kurenai, is bound to be on his side. Well, isn't that a good thing, said Naruto? Loyalty should go to the village and not to the Hokage in particular. If I was told to make a choice between preventing Tsunade's death and saving all of Konoha, she would kill herself so that I could choose the right choice by saving the village. That was what the third did, right? Yeah, Jiraiya said, remembering about his sensei. Anything else you want to ask? No, I'm all good. You can continue, said Naruto. This is about you now, said Jiraiya. You are power hungry, and you feel entitled to that power. Especially that you know that Akatsuki is hunting you now. Whenever you feel like you're not getting what you want, you get frustrated, and you vent that out by attacking the person that is trying to talk to you, and you think that he's trying to tell you the wrong thing, which always end up being me. You recover relatively quickly enough so that we could have a civil conversation. You seem to respect me even though you don't like me. That, or you think I'm holding out on you for selfish reasons. And the only rational thing for you to do is to force me to teach you, or beat me to death, so that I can't hold out on you anymore for selfish reasons. There's also a matter of your anger, like you have a certain fetish for bloodshed when certain topics are brought up. For example, whenever Tayuya and your death experience was brought up, you immediately get defensive because you think someone else is to blame, or you think they're blaming you. Naruto frowned at that. I am to blame though, said Naruto. It's my fault it happened. If I was smarter, she wouldn't have to step in against Yagura. Then why did you fly off the handle like that and fight me, said Jiraiya. Just because you know the truth, that doesn't mean you want to face it, said Naruto. That sentence Naruto just said surprised Jiraiya. For a boy who fly off the handle most of the times, and sometimes don't think rash. Well, he certainly had his head on his shoulder, despite not wanting to show it sometimes. And the real reason, said Jiraiya, as it was something he wasn't telling him. I overdrew from the Kyuubi's chakra when Tayuya got hurt in that fight. You noticed my ears and my nails and all, right? Hell, I grew a couple of inches after it happened. I noticed, Jiraiya said. Still, you can't exactly overdraw from a Biju as a Jinjulki. What aren't you telling me? I am not playing games with you, so you shouldn't try to with me. I might have, maybe, torn off the seal. You did what? Jiraiya shouted. Hey, calm down, said Naruto. The seal is back up. Don't ask me how because I don't know. I'm not being possessed too. The outburst is probably because of that. And I may have more in the future. Jiraiya sighs, he rubbed a hand down his face. Well, then I guess there's not much I can do about it, he said. Now I got one last thing to say before you can get back to your training in Fukazaku-sama. Once the Chunin exams are over, I'm going to end this training trip. I know I told you 3 years, but since you start to learn Senjutsu without me, there is nothing that I can really teach you. I will recommend a promotion to Jonin for you, and for Tayuya to be enlisted as that level as well. You will have to work out how the twins and your grandmother play into this. Well, that is if they want to. Nothing left to teach me, said Naruto. Nothing that you need to be taught, Jiraiya said. People call me a Fuinjutsu master, the best in the world, but I'm really not nothing compared to the Uzumakis at their height. I mean the last seal used on me in that fight. I've never seen a seal do that before. To most people, Fuinjutsu master is basically a fancy term for people who make things go boom. The chakra limiter and the slug seal are my own inventions. They're pretty much useful, but sealing is an art form. Even if you learn from me, your seals won't be like mine because our styles are different. If you really want to get better at it, you'll have to practice your handwriting a lot. Oh damn, I hate that. There was a reason grammar was my worst subject, said Naruto. Not math? Well, you seem like a kid that will be bad at almost everything, said Jiraiya. Math is easy, it's all numbers. I don't have to learn the hard part like calculus and all that. I leave that to the guys that were going to be doing math with things and all that, but counting numbers is rather easy. I mean, if there are 4 guys and there are 2 guys, which side would you rather be on? The 4, said Naruto. Science, I don't really care about jutsu theory. I use jutsu to kick ass. I think that's called practical applications. Besides, I know my elements. Fire and earth beat wind. Wind beat lightning. Lightning beat earth and water. Earth and water beat fire. Lightning and water combine. Fire and wind combine. Earth and water combine. Once you know what beat what and what pair well together, it's easy. History, I didn't do so well, but I'm trying to learn from the mistakes of the past. That way, I won't make those mistakes. What about your handwriting, said Jiraiya? Well, damn it. I don't have a defense for that, said Naruto. Alright, kid, we got 2 days before we head back to the sand. Work hard. Where are you going then, said Naruto. I got a little reconnaissance to run. I'll see what news I can find about the Akatsuki. Sounds like a plan, said Naruto as he got to his feet. Time skip. Your support means more than you know. The pair were covered by the shadows. Their features being shown a bit by the candle. Their hands were locked together as they lie together. I could never ever abandon you. It's thanks to you I became the man I am. It's thanks to me that you stand as proud as you are now. Stronger and capable. Since the day that we met, I wish you would come more often. The voice of the girl lying with him said, I will never be able to devote all my time to you. You know that, don't you? The man said. I know. The girl rolled over as she kissed him. She placed a hand on his bare chest. Where did you get this scar? She asked. I thought I had the bastard cornered. Turns out he knew his situation better than I did. Ah, poor little man, she said. You know you've never been the smart one. That was always your teammate's job. You got settled with being the stupid kid on a team of geniuses and the dumb adult teaching brilliant students. Oh, that's not nice, even if it's true, the man said. I don't care. Go back to loving me, she said. The man laughed. As you wish, smiled the angel, he said. I'll do whatever you want. Whatever I want, she asked. Anything at all, he said. Made me feel like I did. Back then. Before the death, the pain. Before the manipulation. When I was just a student, and you were my master. When you owned me completely. My mind, my body. She leaned on herself. And my soul, she whispered in his ear. As she felt his breath on her neck. She pulled back. Do you feel bad about it sometimes, she said. Because I was young. I never have. I was the one that came to you, after all. I regret. I gave in so early, he said. Not all the love we share since then. I don't regret that at all. That's true. I was such a wicked little girl. But I made sure you knew that I loved you, didn't I? Here, let me show you again, Master, she said. In that moment, as he come across the revelation so many times before, Jiraiya knew that he was a man and his crimes would never be forgiven. Except for the one woman on the earth that genuinely loved him. And she was right here with him. Time skip. Naruto felt the tug of a reverse summon. As he didn't have time, as he groaned as he was summoned to a nondescript room in the Kazukage's family home. He groaned. I still hate that. Who is here, he asked. The Raikage and his guards are both in the sand. Apparently, the Mizukage will be here in a couple of hours. Snappy will be here tomorrow, Jiraiya responded. Gar's gonna be happy about that, said Naruto with a laugh. Me, not Snappy. They really hit it off in Kiri, but I couldn't tell you why. Two lonely souls, isolated by their power, that find solace in each other's arms. I think I can make that work. Tell you what, kid, even after this trip is over, I think I'll stick around you. You might come across some fantastic literature ideas, and you're not even the one they happen to. I'm not gonna be your proxy to you writing your smut, said Naruto. Well, then what kind of smut will you proxy? Jiraiya asked with a grin. God damn it, said Naruto. I walk right into that one. Anyway, though were you serious about ending the training trip, he asked. Yes, your vacation's getting cut short. Sorry if I'm not really apologetic about that. This has got to be the shittiest vacation I ever gone on, Ursanin. And I haven't really gone on any. I mean, Bachan made me take it. My teachers are unruly pervert. My friends are probably pissed off at me that they've been stuck at home while I've been running around the world. And my family has been tagging along, Naruto joked. And the part where me and Tayuya haven't done anything yet. But that's okay, she's strong-willed. I'll wait for her to come to me about it. Wait, Jiraiya said. Are you telling me that you haven't done anything with her yet? And you're not gonna romance her? What the hell have you learned from me? If not the art of seduction, Jiraiya said. I mean, God, the two of you sleep in the same bed. How have you not gone beyond kissing, Jiraiya said, looking up into the heavens. You know, I'm pretty sure you write those books because you can't do what happened in them, said Naruto. Besides, we're both agreeing to take things slow. And how would you know what happened in those books, Jiraiya asked. Kakashi-sensei is easy for me to sneak up on. Or maybe he just doesn't care, said Naruto. Either way, you're wrong, Jiraiya said. I brought a woman back here with me. She's the one I base the female main character of Ichi Paradise, Gekon, off of. Naruto blinked. Wait. But... No. There can't be a woman that actually loves you out there in the living room. Your reputation, woman, is too shitty. I refuse to believe that someone will fall for a peeping Tom like you, said Naruto. Hey, I take offense to that. It's not my fault that I'm a man who enjoy the female form. More like a man who's still bitter that he never got a motorboat, snapped the Bachan, before she got wrinkly. Now come on, show me this Mr. Woman of yours, said Naruto. The only reason why Naruto said that about Snazzy was because she was not here or in 100 miles of where he was. But he was kind of right. He has always tried to make his advance towards Snazzy, but she never took them seriously, although he tried to make his feelings be known. Then Dan appeared in her life. That was a low point in Jiraiya's life at the time, a really low point. And then Dan died. The war had continued for 4 years, practically 5 with the peace treaty. He promised himself that he would tell Snazzy right after. But at the end of the war was the Hidden Ring campaign, the battle that had left only the Saiyans alive with Hanzo. After that, he came across the orphans and had elected to stay behind. He kept putting it off for so many reasons, and then Konan advances had happened. Jiraiya, who was so unused to being given any sort of attention or affection by women. He folded rather quickly when Konan had wanted to show him her gratitude for protecting her and teaching her ninjutsu. He stayed in the hidden ring for 9 years. In the last 3, when he saw the situation was going to change, he started to take charge. After that, he returned to Konoha, and Snappy was gone. And he was happy about that because he couldn't face her after everything. Alright, let's go, said Jiraiya as he opened the door. Time skip. I never knew that Birchie Sensei has a girlfriend. Nice to meet you though, Konan. She wore a navy thigh dress to match her hair, as she tilted her head and gave a smile with her eyes closed. I've known Jiraiya for how long has it been, she thought. 33 years, she said. He found me hiding under a... No. That's probably not the story you should hear, she said. He is 10 years older than I am. We met at the end of the Second Great Shinobi War. That was a long time. And isn't it weird being with someone so much older than you? Not to me, said Konan. He's a sweetheart, really. After my parents died, he taught me how to be a ninja. He's always been there for me, even if he couldn't physically be there with me. When he got called back to Konoha, that was the worst day of my life. Still, he promised he would come back for me, and he always has. If anything, he's a man that never go back on his word. Tayuya could sympathize. Naruto was no genius, and he had his moments of rage, but he always came back to her, and he was kind. He made her laugh and smile. He made her forget the years she spent as Orochimaru's glorified servant. Though she called him Peace for Brains, the idea of his hair, she always felt warm, because it felt like the warmness of the sun. And he always kept his promises. A door opened down the hall, and the both of them came into view. Naruto, said Tayuya. Before Naruto could blink, he was knocked down to the ground. Missed you too. Jeez, what's wrong with the hug, said Naruto. This is a hug, Peace for Brains. If you're not careful, it will become a dead grip. She got up and helped him to stand on his feet again. Naruto, this is Konan. Konan, this is... Oh, I know who he is, said Konan. He's the son of the boy that you left me for. Erasenin, you're telling me you turned on this woman to train my parents. How could you be so heartless? It's very clear that she needed you. You're so right, said Konan. I was a young girl, lost and alone, without my beloved Jiraiya. As I recall, Yaiko and Nagato were both there when I left. I'm not gonna take this kind of abuse, said Jiraiya. Yes, you are, said Tayuya. Or, Naruto could always use that jutsu. How do you know about that? You got drunk and lost a bet, said Tayuya. This is the thanks I get, Jiraiya said. I train you all, I take you in, and save your life. After all these years, my students come back to mock me for my failures. Then stop failing, said Konan as she placed her arm on his shoulder. Or, find more respectable students, she said. I had respectable students. Somehow they brought out that boy, said Jiraiya, as he looked towards Naruto. Hey, Erasenin, what do you call a man whose destiny is to get surpassed by everyone? He opened his mouth around. I don't know what Jiraiya said. Oh, easy, Jiraiya, said Naruto. Jiraiya eye twitched. Why, you little... As he chased after Naruto. Tayuya and Konan laughed despite the differences in both men. They were alike in more ways than one. Days like this, peaceful and filled with laughter, that is what they fought for. A battle fan came out of nowhere as Jiraiya ran face first into it, stopping the chase. I changed my mind, Naruto, you were right. But don't expect to get away without some of that payment you mentioned. Naruto for his part grinned sheepishly as he summoned clones who made their way towards the desert of the sand. So, Goldilocks, how did your date went? Temari started to blush. Temari, you went on a what? Conqueror's voice could be heard from down the hall. In record time, he made his way to the room. As everyone sat down and Conqueror stood at the doorway, so she had to say what happened as Tayuya had a big smirk on her face. Look, it wasn't my idea. Tayuya decided to play matchmaker. That wasn't the question, Goldilocks. The question was, did you do a good job? Besides, you're the one with the crush on a civilian. Oh my god. Who, said Conqueror? Her waiter, down at the Shining Lotus. Ever wonder why she go there so much? The boys are all shirtless. And the girls is not wearing much. It is like they're wearing a washcloth for their bra. Hell, maybe she even have a crush on the waitress as well. Where is this place, Jiraiya said. I have to know for important research purposes. 5 heads turned towards him. They were amazed that he had the balls to say that in a room filled with 3 powerful kunoichi. Jiraiya Sensei, Konan said, her voice sounding dark. Even with me right here, You want to go off and ogle other women. I know I can't stop you when I'm not around. But a slip of paper came out of her sleeve, an explosive tag, covering Jiraiya's mouth. It was a dummy. But Jiraiya did not know that. There, we don't have to listen to you. Open your mouth and that seal will go off. More paper came off her body and wrapped around his head as they covered his ears. That seal is fake. As much as I love him, someone has to keep him in line, she said. Kankuro looked around. Wait, where's Temari? They heard the locking sound of Temari locking herself inside her bedroom. Meanwhile, where's Konan? Said Toby. In the sand, gathering information on the Jinjulki, said Pain. And that doesn't bother you at all, said Toby. No, why would it? I would not give her orders that she has difficulty of following. She knows the importance of the mission. Well, look at me, trying to understand the thoughts of a god, said Toby. Patronize me will only make you suffer, said Pain. Konan's heart has always belonged to Jiraiya-sensei. I never saw a reason to go against that claim. And that's the end of the story there. As Pain walked away, Maya came into view by her Kamui technique. You probably shouldn't push him, she said. Keep in mind, what's bad for him is bad for you. As if I didn't already know that, Toby said. I'm prepared for everything. Have you brought Itachi into the fold? He asked her. All I had to do was show you my face. Unlike yours, mine remain intact. Keep speaking to me disrespectfully, and I'll cut out your tongue, he said. Without warning, a kunai was at his throat. I dare you to try, Itachi whispered from behind Toby. Toby simply used his Kamui as he slipped right through it. As he turned towards Itachi, his Sharingan looking at him dangerously. Toby hadn't even sensed him when he appeared. For a pacifist, Itachi was truly dangerous. Cute, said Toby. One day that boundless heart of peace and love will come back to haunt you, Itachi. Ironic words, coming from the man who supposedly died because he believed saving a comrade who died regardless of his actions, Itachi said. Do not mistake my mercy for anything less than insurance in the face of my power. I killed more than 300 Uchiha in one night. One more, as weak as you are, wouldn't be difficult, Itachi said. He wasn't bluffing, far from it. In fact, that night, majority of the Uchihas were awake, as they were planning their coup d'etat on Konoha. Without battering an eye, he took the life of Izumi Uchiha and her mother. And then he went towards the police force, swift and quick. His parents he saved for last. Sasuke had walked right in after he killed them. He was a pacifist, but Toby wouldn't want to face off against Itachi. Itachi had been training, preparing, ever since he saw the darkness within the Uchiha clan, as he knew that Itachi could kill him if he wanted to. Because when you think about it, Itachi had nothing to lose when it comes to certain things. After all, he wanted to die when all the chips were down. And you have nothing left to live for. That is when you're the most dangerous. Boys, calm down, said Maya. We can't work together to achieve our goals if all we do is fight one another. As she looked at them, she could see nothing similar about them except for the curse of hatred of that eye that gave them power. A world where Toby was in complete control. A world where Sasuke could be safe. Those were the things they fought for, and it just so happened they could meet them, coexist together. If it was going to turn any other way, then the both of them would try to kill each other before it even started. Maya sighed quietly, a frown on her face, as Toby sucked himself away in a swirling vortex, and the lack of him being there made the both of them happier. I hate that man, the dead should stay dead. I don't care how or why, he remain alive. Even me, Itachi-kun. Yes, Maya, even you. I won't veer from the path I chose when I killed you, he said. You came back to me, but that is no more than one sin removed from the countless others that remain. My only redemption will be my death, and Sasuke will be the one to redeem it. Say nothing about your disease, huh? How do you... Oh please, Itachi-kun, she said. I watched over you every single day of our life. I could even tell you the day you contracted it, and the composition of a cure. Not that you would listen. No matter how much I love you, it's never enough to make you walk away from any course that you set yourself on. You watch over me? He didn't laugh, but you could hear the sarcastic tone within his voice. Every day since you died, she said. Because the man who made the choice of protecting Konoha by killing his clan were two different people, before and after. The one before was Itachi Uchiha, my Itachi-kun. The other that walked out after was nothing but a shell, with no desire. Nothing remained. The only thing that he wanted was to join his loved ones The ones that he slaughtered. Itachi was silent. Do you even want to know how she acts? No, I don't want to, said Itachi. All you will try to do is pull me away from my path. Complicate the plan. And trying to change my mind. All these contingency plans, Itachi-kun. Don't call me that. The dead should stay dead, he said. Kill me then. Show me that in your heart, that you truly care nothing for me, she said as she took off her mask. As she looked directly at him. The only catch is when you are about to kill me, I want you to look me directly in the eyes, like you did 6 years ago. The kunai that was still in his hand from when he was threatening Toby. He raised it up towards her, as he placed it right at her throat. She did not move. She just looked directly at him. As he looked into her eyes, the seconds passed. His hand did not shake. He just looked directly at her. You. Itachi's voice was filled with guilt. Guilt that he could not complete his mission. Guilt that he couldn't move his hand and finish the job that he started all those years ago. Guilt that Itachi Uchiha was a dead man. You will always be mine. The kunai fell from his hand as he kissed her, without hesitation, and she kissed back. Time skip. As Snape made her way, she arrived at the hidden sand. She was greeted by a party that she didn't expected. Kakashi was there with his 2 students. G, Tenten father, was there as he came to cheer his daughter on. The Kage, the Mizukage and the Raikage were all gathered. She was surprised to see another person wearing the Mizukage's hat other than Yagra. In addition to their guards, several other persons stood there, waiting for her. Jiraiya, Naruto, and Tayuya she knew. The redhead behind Naruto was Uzumaki Aburu, as she had only met her once. The blue-haired woman beside Jiraiya looked similar, like one of the orphans that they met in the rain, that he decided to train before returning to Konoha and taking on an official genin team. She had no idea who were the 2 children standing in between Naruto and Tayuya. She raised the eyebrow towards Jiraiya as he muttered the words, I'll explain later. Well, there's certainly more of you than I expected. Good afternoon, said Snappy. Her chosen guards were Yamato and Uzuki Yucheu. Both had been under Kakashi command on Team Ro, missing only Itachi to complete their unit. Good afternoon, Hokage-dano. I'm Terumi, the Mizukage. I believe I'm the only one that you didn't know. Correct, said Snappy. Now, as to what Mei were doing with their guards, which one of them were wearing 2 eye patches and the other one was Zabuza, that was an entirely different question. With Ayo, both eyes covered, and Zabuza, with his mouth covered, the 2 of them combined made a perfectly hidden face. It's good to see you, said Gaara. The votes itself won't begin for another 2 days, but I'm glad that we all can gather together. At least the Akatsuki won't attempt anything similar to what happened in Kumo last month. A tensed at those words, causing me and Sinan to look at him. They wonder what Gaara meant. What happened? We weren't aware of anything. Jiraiya, did you know about this? Asked Snappy. I was there when it happened, but right after they retreated. 3 of the 4 was using some mind-melting jutsu to allow others to take on their appearance and fight under their control. The 4th was Itachi Uchiha who fled before we could apprehend him. My brother was in Kumo? Sasuke turned as he looked at Naruto. I remember you said you came across him, but I thought it was about the rebellion. Yeah, and he dragged me to hell and back, like a personal rag doll, Naruto said, as he winced at the memory. He left me alive though. Said it was too early to save me away. That was not the whole truth, but not a lie either. The real battle was Itachi trying to prove to Naruto that he was still loyal to Konoha, which he succeeded. We're going to talk later, Sasuke said. Naruto, you fought Itachi Uchiha? Wait, you fought in Kiri Rebellion? Before Naruto could say anything, Mei spoke. Yes, Naruto Koi fought from me. He fought 3 Jinjulki at once, the Sanbai, the Rokibai, and the Hatsubi. He killed Yagra single-handedly and defeated him in his full possession mode. All eyes swiveled to Naruto, whose smile turned sheepish. Hokage-dano, you would be amazed by the things you can accomplish with duct tape and a rusted spoon. Respect for authority, however, grudgingly, is one of them, said A. Huh. Duct tape and rusted spoon. Well, you guys have to catch me first. I wonder if that can happen, he said. Tayuya grabbed onto his hand. Caught you. Hey, that's not fair, he said. Yeah, well, get over it, piss for brains. I don't care if you don't respect anyone else, but if you think that you're gonna disrespect me. As you can see, I have something of a system in place, said Snappy. Now, should we go and sit down somewhere? It was a long walk from Konoha. Time skip. Of all the people that could have come after me, it had to be your brother, said Naruto. It had to be the one guy in the world that no one in their right mind wants to fight. Full offense. None taken, said Sasuke. The two of them were sitting down in Sasuke's hotel room that he was sharing with Kakashi. Why is it that you're so driven? I mean, revenge is one thing, but you almost turned traitor in trying to fight him. That's more than a vendetta. That's an obsession. When you saw him, did he use the Tsukuyomi on you? Sasuke asked. Yeah, he did. What's that got to... Naruto didn't get finished his question. He did to me as well that night. He made me watch as he slaughtered all our clan members over and over again. Nothing before or after, Naruto asks. No. Why? Said Sasuke. As Naruto knew that, well, Danzo would probably try to kill him for revealing the truth to Sasuke. But Sasuke had a... Naruto. Kakashi walked in. Would you really tell him that? Tell me what, Sasuke asks. He has a right to know. However long you were listening in, you can't deny that, said Naruto. Just because the truth is hidden, doesn't mean it should not ever be revealed. What truth? What are you hiding? Sasuke said. You told me, said Naruto. Not the same thing, but you told me something that was just as risky. I was in a controlled environment. The only witness was someone who would never betray me, said Kakashi. God damn it, would someone tell me what the hell is going on? Sasuke shouted. The both of them turned as he looked towards him. Naruto got up and closed the door as he placed a seal on the wall that neither of the other ninja recognized. It's a silencer, said Naruto. What is said in this room will not go beyond the three of us. Alright then, said Kakashi with a nod. So what's going on? Said Sasuke. Sasuke, there's no easy way to say this, but I want you to listen. I want you to calm down and listen to what I have to say. Are you gonna listen? I'm listening, Sasuke said. As Kakashi looked towards him, you knew that Itachi killed their clan, all in one night, and he only spared you. What you didn't know was he was under orders to do so. The elders and the third Kage gave him the mission. What? No. He told me that he did it to see how strong he was, to test out his ability. He did it so I can grow up hating him, and he would kill me when I grow strong enough so he can find a challenge and to cut me down, a persona he created to hide the pain that he felt. Said Kakashi, it was either stand with the Uchiha and have them massacred down to the last man, or kill them himself and spare your life. That was the ultimatum that he was given. Your parents was the ringleader of a rebellion to destroy Konoha because of the rumors that were going around that the Uchiha was the one that summoned the Kyuubi to attack the village. When he used the Tsukuyomi on me, he gave me a slightly different story than Naruto. He told me the third Kage orders were falsified, and this was all Danzo's doing. Why doesn't that surprise me, said Kakashi. Danzo claimed that he and his roots are the vines that give life to Konoha, but all it seems is that you're a root of all evil, dealing with Orochimaru to regain his missing limbs, the death of the Uzumaki, the annihilation of the Uchihas. Each of the three ninjas gathered in his room had a personal vendetta against Danzo. You're serious, Sasuke said. He used the Tsukuyomi to give you that message. He's still loyal to Konoha, said Naruto. He's trapped. That is what he is, said Kakashi. He can't come back home. And he can't erase the guilt of the pain that he feels for what he's done and move on. He can't get past the past. He will put all of his hopes and dreams on you, that you will be the one to kill him and free him from his curse. He was caught between a rock and a hard place. He had to choose between the loyalty of his village or his family. And he chose me. Why? Why force me to bear the burden? Why lie to me about his reasons? I could have. What could you have done? Kakashi said softly. You were a boy who barely learned how to swing a kunai back then. When hunters came to get your brother, he could have died defending you. There was nothing you could have done to save him from his fate. He's an exile by choice and circumstance. For better or for worse, he genuinely believes that nothing but his death at your hands would bring him a solution. That's not fair. No, but life never is, said Naruto. But would you rather go back to the way things were, now that you know the truth? Your anger was aimed at the wrong person all along. Naruto, you and I are still gonna train. Not to kill my brother anymore though. I don't care what I have to do. The Sharingan spin in Sasuke's eye with rage. I'm gonna kill the man that set him up for failure. Sasuke's mind struggled to accept what just was told to him, as that conflict, that raw emotion, the hatred that was bottled up inside of him for so long, started to change his eyes. Both men got up and left the room, leaving Sasuke behind, quietly, reaches conclusion. Sasuke was strong, but it would take time to suppress that overwhelming knowledge that was just dropped on him. Meanwhile, I'm requesting to end the training trip, said Jiraiya, as he sat on the couch next to Snappy after he was so serious about taking him and Tayuya. What changed your mind halfway through? You heard the Kage said. He fought in Kira Rebellion. She gave him a hard look at that. Well, he was the one that brought Naruto there. He fought the Sanbai Jinjulke Yagura and killed the 4th Mizukage. But something unexpected happened. Unexpected how, she said. Tayuya got a severe blow. The damage was so severe, the only way to save her life was to make her the new Sanbai host. You did what? She hasn't shown any sort of contact with the demon or used his chakra at all. Whether that's a feint to keep us at bay, to not show her true power with it, or she genuinely lacked any ability to contact with it. Truth be told, I think you're more loyal to each other than to Konoha or any other village or anyone else. It's good fortune that Naruto is happy to be in Konoha than anywhere else, because we'll have 2 Jinjulke. Does he know that I'm... No, said Jiraiya, cutting her off. He doesn't even suspect it. He knows that you're part Uzumaki, which makes you family enough to him. The woman I recognize, but the children. Jiraiya, what kind of affair were you having? Asked Snaddy. It's only a affair if you're married, Snaddy, he said, as he wiggled his finger. Uzumaki Abreu is his maternal grandmother. The twins, Kuga and Rei. You're not going to believe this for a second. I can tell already. They're your grandfather. Time-lost cousins. At least according to them, said Jiraiya. What? How? That's bizarre. Even for one of your novels, Jiraiya. Not your smut, one of your real novels. Those never sold well. It's fitting though Naruto is named after one of the first MC I ever wrote. Either way, I'm telling the truth, he said. You could ask them yourself, they know all about the first Madara and the warring clan era. Would you believe that your grandfather slept with a teddy bear until him and his wife started to live together? How would anyone else? Good God. They're telling the truth. How on earth did you... She was cut off. That's Naruto department. According to him, the 3 of them were trapped. Were trapped in a gigantic pocket dimension, a chakra constructor, in one of Uso's defensive posts. That was probably one of the worst bullcrap Snaddy has ever heard in her life. This was Jiraiya. He could make things like this up though, but he would never lie to her. A gigantic chakra construct that he somehow broke out of and brought them with him back. Well, yeah, look, I know how stupid it sounds, but you gotta believe me here, Jiraiya said, as he pleaded with her. I don't know what the hell went on inside, but it's done, and those 3 being here are the only proof that you need. The twins in particular are an anomaly, beyond anything you can come up with. They call the First and Madara their cousins. They can cut through lightning with a water technique. They're 9 years old, but I think I'm looking at the new geniuses of the new generation. Sounds to me like they're really the last of their generations. If they were my grandfather's age, then their talent fit alongside what we knew of that time. No matter how young the child was, they were trained at an early age. Compared to those days, we've enjoyed peace and our wars are nothing like the ones that happened back then. Either way, they give me the will, as Jiraiya said. Their existence is such an anomaly. I've left them to their own devices or to be trained by Abreu, and maybe that's bad off on me. But to be honest, I have no clue what I would do with them. Well, what about their skill level? All 4 of them, said Snaddy. The kids are tuning in terms of raw skills. I would give them B rank in ninjutsu and kenjutsu, C rank in taijutsu. They're both complete failures at genjutsu. It might be a family trait. Either with their age and mental state would deem that they be genins, even with their well-rounded abilities. And your latest red and blonde students, asked Snaddy. Tayuya is Jonin level. She's fast, strong, and has a biju inside of her stomach. A rank in taijutsu and ninjutsu, S rank in genjutsu. Naruto is something else. All he got out of his father was his looks and his dreams. Kushina gave him everything else, and it shows. Oh, said Snavy. He would give me a run for my money if I was using full power. After what happened in the final battle with him using Kyuubi's chakra, he could probably level an entire hidden village if he used it to the max. He pulled down a meteor and created a mountain, Snavy. That's not normal or fair. I taught him ninjutsu and taijutsu. He learned senjutsu from the toads. and he butchered the fourth Mizukage with that sword on his back, took off his limbs individually before he beheaded him, and then released a primal roar. The image in her head startled Snappy. Yagura was no slouch. One of the two Bijus to achieve perfect synchronization with her Biju, that Naruto could brutally murder him in cold blood. And revelate after the battle, that wasn't Naruto that she knew. At least not Naruto that she thought she knew. I would rank him of having 8 stats across the board. A rank to all except Genjutsu. No one can be good at everything, Jiraiya. So do you think that he's ready to be a Jonin? Yeah, Jiraiya said. But guys, be in tips right here. If you want to see the next part to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember to go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Became the God of Lightning over on Anime King, and enjoy that, guys. And over Anime King 3, I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto Awaken the Rainy Tentagon. So go over there and enjoy that, guys. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking back to all of you. But for now, I'm out of here. See you guys soon. Peace.